Hey everyone, Eezore here, and in this video I'm pretty much going to cover how to get all of the specialty kill achievements in the game Shadow Warrior. Now what I mean by that is that you have to kill demons in a certain way or obtain certain karma titles as you're going through the game. For example, the first one here is Shredder, dismember demons. Alright, literally all you have to do is cut off limbs. It can be arms or legs. This one is by far the easiest one to do, and it can be comboed with a lot of other ones. Merciless. Kill crawling demons. This one was a little tricky. I found that if you shoot off the legs of the SMG, that tends to end up making them crawl towards you. It's not a guarantee, but you do want to make sure that you try to aim for the legs once you're going for this one. This one by itself, you don't usually find unless you're actively going for it, so just make sure to, once you're going to start doing it, you just start shooting for the legs. It doesn't have to be the SMG, I just found that that one works the best, so... Beheaded. All you have to do is cut off their heads with your sword. It's really easy to do and can be attained pretty early on. Headshot. Shoot enemies in the head with a gun. Again, very easy to do. I've noticed that when you click to aim, you automatically aim for the demon's head, so I especially like doing this with a pistol, as it's very easy to do, especially on normal difficulty. Tranquillizer. Kill enemies that become enraged. Just need them to become enraged in some way. The more enemies you have on there, the more chance they have of doing it. Also, I've noticed if you do more tricks or powers, different weapons, you'll end up enraging them a lot easier. Just about every enemy in the game can be enraged, and the Warlords will actually enrage everything around it. So this is pretty easy to do, just takes a little while to do through the campaign. Headache. Kill demons using the Warlord's head as a weapon. You do need to unlock this skill in order to find the Warlord's head and use it as a weapon. You get one in Chapter 2. They do show up pretty much everywhere in later chapters. I think starting in Chapter 7 they start showing up again, and it's usually about minimum you'll fight 2 at once pretty much every chapter from there on out. So you'll have plenty of times to get this head. There's also another skill that lets you do more damage with the head, so just make sure to do that one. Really easy to obtain as you keep using the heads. Heart attack. Use a demon's heart to kill enemies. This one too has a skill where it'll let you find a few more hearts. I'd recommend getting this one early, especially playing on harder difficulties, because they instantly kill all lesser demons. You can even kill a couple at once, so very useful skill to have. Just make sure to continuously using them. You can only hold one at one time, so if you find one that drops, I would suggest using the one you have, then picking up the new one. Demolished. Kill with explosive objects. This one is kind of tricky. I would recommend especially going through chapters 2 and 3 because there's a lot of environmental objects that can blow up and you'll get this one. So just be careful. This one works really well with Raiden, where you have to kill enemies with electricity from environmental attacks. There too, chapter 2 and chapter 3 are really easy to get, but after that it's really, really hard. So just save and load for the arcade and you'll get these pretty quick. Toasted. Burn 100 enemies to death. Now this can be done either with the environment or when you get the flamethrower later on. It's really easy once you do get the flamethrower, but considering there are a lot of environmental kill achievements, I'd recommend using the environment as early as possible as well. Aviator. Kill enemies that are ensnared with the koi power. Need this power unlocked in order to be able to use it. So basically once you unlock the koi power, the first part of it, you'll actually be able to stun enemies in the air, and then you'll be able to easily kill them when they're airborne. You do need to make sure to use it once you unlock it, and ultimately once you get it, it's pretty easy to do. Specialist. Kill enemies using katana special attacks. You have to get a katana special skill early in order to be able to get through certain sealed areas. So just try to use that as often as possible. It works great with Shredder because when you hit them with that, usually they end up just falling apart and you get a whole bunch of Shredder points with it too. Detonator. Kill enemies using sticky bombs. For this one you need to get the Bowgun, which you get in Chapter 3, and you have to buy the secondary fire. When you use the secondary fire, it sticks to the enemy. It has a little pink light on them. You can fire up to 3 of these at once, and when you hit the right trigger again, or the firing normally, it'll make them explode. You do need to kill them with that initial explosion, otherwise they'll just light on fire and then you might not get it. You might get the Toasted achievement or the Merciful, but you might not always get the Detonator. So just make sure to use it. I'd recommend using it once you get the 20% extra damage to the lesser demons, as well as the secondary attack. Defused. You need to kill the green suicide demons before suicided. This one's Culmitive throughout all playthroughs. You do find way more than 100 throughout the game, so not that big of a deal as long as you're actively paying attention and killing them before they blow up. Merciful. Start demons on fire, then kill them any other way. This one's a little tricky. It's really easy once you get the flamethrower. You just start them on fire and then kill them another way. Takes some practice and can usually be done pretty early on with the environmental ones, because you'll end up lighting them on fire and then something else will blow up and they'll die because of that. But it's kind of hard to and a little tricky when you do it by yourself, so just be conscious of this one and it shouldn't take too long. Sleepyhead. Kill stunned enemies. For this one you do need the Tiger Power in order to stun enemies, and then you kill them when they're on the ground. After the second level where they're stunned for 5 seconds is actually really easy to do quite constantly, and especially later when there's a lot of enemies on the screen, this one helps out a lot. So once you unlock it as a power, I'd recommend using it all the time until you get this one, and even after, because it is such a good skill. Nailed. Pin demons to the wall. This one is really, really annoying. This one you have to shoot them with the bowgun. They have to die from it and get stuck to the wall behind it. So if there's no wall behind them, there's no way to get nailed. I've seen some people say that getting it in chapter 1 or 2 of the EX version, when you can start the new game with all your items and everything like that, it does help, but it's still really, really tricky to do. So I just recommend, as you're playing with the bowgun, to try to shoot things with the bowgun towards walls. You don't need to charge them up, but you do need to make sure you kill them and they stick to the wall. So there's that. It's really annoying and it's very difficult. So yeah, that's how to get all of them. You can always tell when you get one just because they'll end up proccing the particular karma title as you say it. And there's also, you can check your profile and see your status, or your Xbox guide and see your status on that. So I'd recommend definitely just following along as you're getting stuff to see what's close, what's not, everything like that. And besides some of the more annoying ones like Nailed and Raiden, most of them are pretty easy to do once you start actively going for them. As for getting the 1,000 environmental kills, everyone says that chapters 2 and 3 are the best just to keep replaying, like I said, because there's a lot of environmental objects. And I think as long as you're conscious of that as you're playing through the whole game, it's not too bad. I went through the game once and got about 250 without even trying for any of the environmental ones. And once I started going for them, I am on chapter 7 of this EX playthrough, and I'm at 400. So, like I said, as long as you're consciously going for the environmental kills, they're not that difficult to get. Hope the video helped. I know there's a lot of information on here. I know it's a lot of things, but some of them are a little bit easier than others. I just thought I'd throw them all in together for one video instead of making individual videos for each one. So, hopefully the video helped. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and give it a like. If you like other video game related content, go ahead and consider subscribing. That's kind of what I do. If you have comments on any easier way to get any of these, go ahead and leave them in the comments down below. These are my methods that I used or that I found worked really well. Like I said, the Raiden skill was probably the most annoying, where you had to save and load. I haven't done that one yet. I plan on doing it after I get through my heroic difficulty run. Wish me luck. That is very hard. Thank you all for watching. I've been Eezore, and until next time, keep your story going.